What the fuck was that for a performance? A Manchester derby and Manchester United perform like that. I don't know what to say. But to be fair, when I saw the team news and I saw that we had McTominay and Christian Eriksen in that midfield, you got Maguire and Evans at the centre-back, it felt like a team that was going to get battered by Manchester City. And that's exactly what happened in the game. Such a poor performance from Manchester United. Such a poor lineup from Manchester United. And look, you can talk about injuries, which we've got plenty of at the moment. You know, unable to play Casemiro, unable to play Luke Shaw, Varane, Martinez, Wan-Bissaka, whoever. But at the end of the day, you look at some of those substitutions as well. United are chasing goals, trying to get goals. We take Rasmus Højlund off. I don't get that one at all. You know, you're trying to get control in the midfield. You're trying to do something there. You start Eriksen and McTominay, and then they survive basically 90 minutes. You take off Amrabat for Mount. You lose all the defensive shape or the defensive midfielder that you had anyway. I just don't get it. And the manager has been duped by a couple of goals by Scott McTominay. Absolutely duped. Like, it was not just Scott McTominay's fault. There's so many of our players that were useless out there today. But it's just one of the things. You go into a game against Manchester City. You want to get control of that midfield area. And you're playing Scott McTominay and Christian Eriksen. Someone who's scared to show for the ball, scared to ask for the ball, useless in possession. And Christian Eriksen, who's very good in possession, but everything else out of possession he's not going to do. He can't hustle, he can't harry, he can't track, he can't press. Like, it's just such a poor lineup. And then the performance as well. You're looking at... I thought Onana did all right today. Made some very good saves at times. There was one or two instances where he made a mistake, like with his handling. The first one, he rescued us from it. He made the mistake, he recovered from it, made a very good save. And there was another moment where Phil Foden kind of messed up after he gifted him the ball. But Onana's saves today kept it respectable, if you want to call a 3-0 at home against Manchester City respectable. I don't think Onana was too bad today. But if you look at Onana that played for Man United today, and Onana that played for Inter Milan against Man City in the Champions League final, and you tell me that's the same player, we brought Onana in to be this guy that plays out from the back and stuff, and we've got him going route one. And I'll tell you why that is. Because Maguire can't play from the back. McTominay don't show for the ball. Eriksen's not good enough. Like, you haven't got a midfield there. And yes, again, you can talk about injuries and stuff. But we had Hannibal Mabry on the bench here. Kobbie Mainoo on the bench here. I know Kobbie's just come back. Mason Mount there. What? We spent 60 million on Mason Mount in the summer. 60 million. And he's not starting in a Manchester derby. He's twice the player of Scott McTominay. Twice the player of him. Hannibal Mabry played a few games for Manchester United. Showed energy, enthusiasm, courage, strength. Good in possession. Scored a fantastic goal. We've not seen him since. But Scott can come in. Score 2 goals against Brentford. Fantastic goals, by the way. But he's playing in the 18-yard box at that point. He's not being asked to be a midfielder. He came on with about 5 minutes to go. And he was being an attacker. He was being like a second striker or something. And then because he scored a few goals there, we go, oh yeah, I know, let's start him every week. And then you're starting him to push fucking Bruno Fernandes out of position on the right. Like, Bruno Fernandes on the right, why? You've got Anthony on the bench. I don't rate Anthony, to be fair. I don't think he's very good. You've got Garnacho on the bench. Mount could even play out there. You've got players on the bench that are more suited to that role. Play Bruno Fernandes in his right position. I just don't get it at the moment. And look, I'm not saying Erik ten Hag out. That's not what I'm saying right now. I think he needs to be given time. I think there's a lot more things wrong at the club. But some of these decisions that he's making are leaving me scratching my head. And unless something's happening behind closed doors that we're not seeing, I don't know what it is. And look, I can't blame him for having to start Maguire, Evans at centre-back when Varane's clearly not fit enough to start and Martinez isn't available. But Reguilon's on the bench. Lindelof's starting at full-back. Start Lindelof at centre-back. Play Reguilon. Surely if he's fit enough to be on the bench, fit enough to start. Like, I don't get it. You had Kobbie Mainoo in there. All right, maybe you don't want to bring him on because we're losing against City. You don't want him to, you know, take that kind of... But he'd bring more into our midfield than McTominay and Eriksen. And look, we can talk about the front three. Rashford, poor today. Fernandes poor today, especially when we went 2-0 free. He's just kicking people and stuff out there. That's something I'd do. I'm a nutter. I'm not a very good footballer. I'll boot everyone for losing, cool. But we've got to try and get control. And that's not getting control, that's relinquishing control. And if you want to be successful in these games and you want to start the likes of Eriksen and McTominay, then Eriksen, I don't mind. But you just got to question some of these things, man. Like, come on, get a grip of this situation. You can't be relying on these players if you want to keep your job. And at the moment, that's how it looks like we're doing. We're taking Højlund off. Why? Be brave, take Bruno off. Make a brave decision. It was just so easy for them today, so easy. And if Varane's not fit to play today, but we played him midweek, what's all that about? What is all that about? Like, just shocking stuff from Manchester United. Like, just shocking stuff. And the manager needs to get a grip of this. Look, I'm not saying he should be sacked. Far from it. Far from that point. I think he did fantastically well last season. I think this season, at the start of the season, he has obviously gone with the likes of Onana, Højlund, to change the way we're playing. That hasn't happened for reasons that maybe injuries, whatever. You know, we've not been able to play a full strength midfield or defence for a long time. But then when you have got Mount available, you have got Amrabat available, why are you starting McTominay? Like, these are the players that left us in shit so many years before. Players that you sign and you don't... I just don't get it. I don't get what's going on at the minute. You've got to do more. You've got to fucking make these big decisions. And so far, you've got caught up in the fact McTominay scored a few goals. Now thinking he deserves to start. He don't. Maybe he's decent off the bench to grab a goal or something. He's never going to control the game for you. Maguire today, useless. Seen people running around. Oh, he's back. Oh, he's amazing. Look at all the criticism he takes and he's still great. He's not good enough. He's not good enough. But we have no choice in that thing because we haven't got a fullback. Like, oh, mate, this is so abysmal, man. I don't know what's going on with this team at the moment. Shocking stuff. In a Manchester derby to perform. Look, Manchester City should be beating us. They're a better team than us. But a Manchester derby at home, you're performing like that. And look, I think in the first half, we had a few chances. Højlund messed up his passes when Rashford was clear through. McTominay messed up his passes when Rashford was clear through. Stick him in. What are you doing? I just don't know what I'm watching at the minute. It's absolutely abysmal. Something has to change though. Fast. Because whatever this team is, whatever we're trying to do at the moment isn't working. It's not good enough. Let us know your thoughts anyway in a bit.